Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is Carmina welcoming you to a new video in our series 52 cards in 52 days, where we examine each and every one of the playing cards. We analyze their meaning with astrology, numerology, and other references. And today is the turn of the King of Spades. The King of Spades only happens once a year. It only happens on the 1st of January. And I'm going to tell you how that relates to us breaking free from limitations. And first of all, let me quickly remind you to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I've got a ton of videos on astrology, cards, human designs, interviews, and a lot of good stuff on my channel. So hit that subscribe button, okay? It's your first exercise in the new year. Okay, so also, if you like the cards that are presented in this video, you can order a deck. They are original designs and I ship worldwide. And if you're interested further deepening your knowledge in the cards, I offer card classes starting January 18, and I also offer astrology classes starting February 8. Everything's gonna be linked in the box below. Okay, so the King of Spades. Look at this card, right? It looks like it's a pretty determined person. You know, the court cards, they are the embodiment of the energies of the pip cards. And of course, the King of Spades is the embodiment of the 7, 8, and 9 of spades, which is a pretty heavy trio. The 7 of spades relates to the Saturn energy of, you know, when you realize things about yourself, about your body, you are not really working anymore. You realize that your achievements are being equaled and surpassed by other people. So it's a difficult connotation, that 7 of spades. And the only way to move forward is to, you know, accept those limitations, accept that you're not super good in every area of your life that you want it to be. Just accept your, you know, your humanity, your human condition. It's what Saturn is trying to point out. Then the 8 of spades, which the King of Spades also encompasses, it's a stage of introspection, a stage of feeling self-validation. It's the inner journey where we are just very still and we are contemplating our own individuality without the need for validation. And at the 9 of spades, we reach the final phase of the Spades Club, and of course the kings are always most connected to the energy of the 9. So ending a cycle, finishing a cycle, reaching a conclusion. Yeah, because at the 9 of spades, it's a divine friendship with yourself in the world. So it's like surrendering to what you have to do, to what you have to work for. It's also called the Karma Yogi card, who sees a life being as a divine work that they have to perform. And it's also being more isolated, working something, completing something in isolation. So once we understand that, we can also associate 12th card to Pluto. The kings always have the energy of Pluto, and this King of Spades is perhaps the most definitive. For once, because the spade relates to the self, and the self is always the most sensitive. Our body, because it's, you know, what we have closest to us in this world, and also because the King of Spades is a fixed card. That means that the underlying and overlying card for the King of Spades are also the King of Spades. So what that means is that the King of Spades is this force, is this natural force that is here to finish things. The kings are all connected to the energy of Pluto. And Pluto, you know, is this very far force, but it's a very strong force. It's something unconscious, but something that is like a volcano bursting. That's what I would call the king of spades, like the burst of lava from a volcano in order to burn what is no longer necessary, in order to burn the limitations. Because of course, whenever you see the king of spades, you know there's going to be a long-term change about something, and you know the person's ego will be bashed, so a lot of their expectations will be shattered, but that will lead to a long-term transformation for the person that will help them shed parts of themselves that are not necessarily genuine. So that's the king of spades, is like breaking limitations. And you know, the king of spades day every year is only January 1st. So that's when people make their New Year's resolution. They're going to be like, okay, from now on, I'm going to give up smoking. From now on, this year, I'm going to give up, you know, I'm just going to go on a diet. And usually this lasts a very short time. But anyway, for everyone, the king of spades day, the 1st of January, it's like some sort of balance. You draw the line and you say, okay, I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to overcome this limitation that I have with myself, that I don't like about myself, something that is not truly who I am. And I want to be more genuine, so I'm just going to squash that. Yes, that's the energy of the king of spades. So that's why it's a tough card. It signifies an ending something, but also a long-lasting change, something that's going to have long-term ramifications. So, you know, it's not an easy card. If you think about Pluto some more, you know that Pluto is the dwarf planet. Pluto is the, you know, it's, even Pluto bashes its own ego, because it was considered a planet and then it was demoted to a dwarf planet and not even a planet anymore. So it's the ultimate ego basher. It's like your expectations, your titles, your status are in a way, and then Pluto comes there to purify it. Pluto comes there to destroy some boundaries, to destroy some confines that you are holding yourself into just to feel safe. But Pluto and the king of spades energy is there to help you overcome those limitations. So even if it is something difficult, it's something painful, something that you feel in your whole body, it's going to lead to a long-term change. So that's what you can do to feel, you know, to experience this card in a way that you're not really pulling your hair out, okay, if it shows up in your spread. For instance, when I'm just going to give a personal example, because that's what I do. You know, when I just looked in retrospect, because I didn't know this cards of truth system back then, but when I had my divorce, I was running the king of spades card in my year. So that's something interesting, right? It's like an ending, a breaking of something which has long-term ramifications. I'm not saying that everyone will have a divorce. Of course, it matters what cards, what cusps, what planets the king of spades is connected to in the, you know, birth spread, in the cards of truth, a year spread, but it can also be that. Okay, so the next part of our video is us looking at the king of spades birth spread. Let us check it out. Okay, so if we think about the famous king of spades people, we won't find that many, because they have to be born on the 1st of January after, you know, after sunrise at their birth time. But one really famous person that is a king of spades is J. Edgar Hoover, which of course was the the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and he made that organization, he made some very important changes there, and he made it more powerful than it was before him. He implemented a lot of changes. So he took this role of King of Spades very seriously. And, you know, these King of Spades people, they have a role to carry out in the world, whether they're famous or not. They're implementing change. That's their role, the 1st of January, people after sunrise. And it's a very lonely card, this King of Spades. You see, they have in their spread the 5 of Spades on the ecliptic, they have the 9 of Spades on the Pluto card, the Ace of Spades on the Saturn card, the 10 of Spades on the Mercury card. It's a very lonely card because we think it, you know, it carries out that connotation of the 7, 8, and the 9. And it carries the destructive force, you know, the principle of Shiva, which is the destructive force, which is connected to the Plutonian energy. So in order to do that, you can't really be a super sociable person. You know, this spread has 2 fixed cards. It has the Jack of Hearts there in the Uranus card, and it has the King of Spades birth card. It has a semi-fixed card here, you know, the 2 of Hearts intertwined with the Ace of Clubs, and it has another semi-fixed card here, the 7 of Diamonds and the 9 of Hearts. So it has both semi-fixed cards, and it has 2 of the 3 fixed cards. So it's a pretty, you know, heavy spread. You know, these people are not leading heavy lives. The kingdom they're building is very tense. It's a 3 of Hearts, so it's moving from what they love to something else that they love. The way they adapt to life is by finding new ideas, new projects to do, to creating new potentials. The way they deal with crisis is by being very busy, like the Queen of Clubs, and having the inspiration to take the best decision there is. The Mercury card is pretty difficult because they have to work a lot in order to communicate, in order to manage their things, in order to reap the rewards of their work. They really have to work super hard. So yeah, I see a clear spade emphasis in this spread. These people are loners. These people are focused on self-development. They're constantly in a crisis with themselves, which is this 5 of Spades ecliptic card. Their Pluto card is also connected to their birth card because the 9, of course, is the most important part of the King energy. So when they are, you know, alone, like a hermit, like the 9 of Spades doing their thing, they get their ego bashed because they really want to be like this. But then because Pluto is here, they're very super Plutonian people. What can I say? Loners, very Plutonian, very, you know, destroying limitations. They're always, you know, in a struggle with themselves, like their path is a struggle. Their relationships life is not easy because you see the North Node here in a Heart card. The Sun card here is in a 3 of Hearts. You see one nice heart here, which is on the Uranus card. So they bring a new attitude in the world somehow. We also see this 3 on the Venus card. So again, the fulfillment life, the satisfaction that they get from the world, what they like is also something more tense, something more changeable. They don't like stability. And of course, the Saturn card is like how they deal with chronic situations, with you know, the inevitable long-term pains and routines of life. And that is the Ace of Spades, which is finding the deeper truth within themselves. Yeah, this K2 card, it's you know, what they have from past life, and they have endings regarding emotional affairs and financial affairs, and now they're more focused on overcoming emotional disappointments. And it also depends where the North Node is. In this hypothetical spread that I did, the North Node planet is here on the Ace of Clubs. So they have to come up always with new ideas, with new potentials for some intellectual spark, because that's what the Ace of Clubs is. It's a spark of intellect. Yes, yeah, it's not an easy card. It's not an easy spread, this King of Spades. I don't run into so many people that are Kings of Spades. Let me know if you are a King of Spades birth card, or if you have a King of Spades in your birth spread. Also, if you're interested in classes with me regarding the cards, you can register, and you can also book a reading. You can also register for astrology classes. You can also get a card deck that I designed. You can do a lot of things in the new year, okay? So yeah, I'll see you soon with more videos, more interviews, more examples. Let me know what you'd like to see on the channel, if you have any other ideas. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye!